Hi again, crafters, it's Cynthia. I am back with another title, and today's piece is another Miss Kate Cuttables file, and it's called Autumn Days Title. So I've done some pre-assembly to help things go a little quicker, but there's some steps that I'm going to go ahead and show you. So the first thing that I want to do is start layering up the background, and there are three pieces that go into the background. This is the very bottom layer. This is the middle layer. So I'm going to take my Tombow Mono Aqua Glue and go ahead and start getting some glue down. I did finish my Halloween series for 2016 and posted that final video yesterday, which was officially Halloween. It was cute. This was the first Halloween in our new house, in our new neighborhood, in our new city. And we ended up having 61 kids come to the door. So that was very, very nice. In our old neighborhood, we were there for 12 Halloweens, and we had 0 trick-or-treaters. All 12 years, not a single soul came to our house. We lived on a very dark, very narrow, very busy street, and nobody wanted to walk at nighttime on our street. So, there you go, no kids. But this year was different, and it was wonderful. Oh my gosh, the kids were so cute. All the costumes, and all of them were very polite. There were a couple of ones that were just literally babies. I don't even know if they could talk. But they were darling. So I was very happy to hand out candy to all those little sweeties. All right, so anyway, this is now going to be the top layer of the background. I really had to raid all of my drawers and boxes and stashes to find enough fall themed colors to go in this. I can tell that a trip to the craft store is in my near future. I need to lay in a good supply of some autumn colors. Just enough to help me get through some of the projects I have planned. Alright, so there's all three of the background layers, and that's good to go. And I think next I went ahead and pre-assembled a couple of these little acorns, which are adorable, but they're a little fussy, so I'm just going to go ahead and put together one of them for you to show the procedure. So you have a base piece here, and oh dear, and this piece is going to go next. I would be using my Tombow Mono multi-glue, except for it's kind of gushing out of the container. So I don't know if there's an air bubble in there and it's making it pressurized, but I cannot control the amount. I can't get those little tiny dots that I want, so I'm not going to fuss with it. Alright, so that piece, and then this piece is just a little bit darker, and it has one of those little holes already cut into it to show the layer underneath. So then that'll act like a little highlight. I think I'll go ahead and tap that a bit. All right, there we go. And here is the top highlight piece of the body of the acorn. And I should mention that I actually ran this cut file at 325% size. So I made it significantly larger, and still some of these pieces are a little bit small. But you know, with a title, I like a good sized title. I could easily have made this even larger, maybe even 500% or 450, and it still would have looked great on a 12 by 12 page. So depending on how you want to use it, you can make that as big as you'd like. The only thing to remember is, of course, you may have to make sure that if you're going to make the title, the letters and the backgrounds, you know, that big, 325, you have to make sure all the pieces are enlarged to 325%. So you need to have that continuity. So I just group all the images together, and then just do a batch expansion on size, and it works out just fine. Okay, so I actually had some trouble with these leaves. Originally, you have your dark brown base, and then you have your top colored layer. And oh my goodness, my machine could not, because these were all veined with fine little cuts all over each one of these leaves, and even all over these tiny leaves. And my machine just could not handle it. It was tearing the paper and just making a terrible mess. So I modified it. I ran the background piece as is, and then I ran the background piece again, but I did it at 92% so that it would just be a little bit smaller. And then instead of all that veining, I just used my scissors and just cut a long notch so I could kind of get the idea of a vein. And then that'll also expose the dark brown underneath. So it looks cute, and it was really the best way to get it done. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have done. But believe me, I tried running those veins several times, and it just, it got worse each time instead of better. So I just said, okay, we're gonna change our minds. Okay, so I just want to put this on just enough where you can see bits of the dark brown underneath. I'll lay that here so you can get a better idea. So it's not a lot of a reveal, but it's just enough, and I think it looks just fine. So let's go ahead and do this. I had for this golden color, I really struggled because I only had this one textured cardstock that was in a nice rich gold yellow, and oh my gosh, that stuff tore. I couldn't even get the outline of the leaf cut properly in that cardstock. So all of a sudden I was like, hey, wait a minute, Stampin' Up! Has several very pretty autumn yellows, and from a couple years back, one of the in colors was Hello Honey. So I reached into my Stampin' Up! Stash and pulled out Hello Honey, and it was the perfect color. So I was thrilled. Stampin' Up! To the rescue. So that is good. I always try to collect all of the in colors when they come out, and I I am never sorry that I get them because they're always lovely. And of course, Stampin' Up! Cardstock quality is very high as well. So the paper cuts beautifully, it stamps beautifully. It's very nice. Okay, so there's all the leaves. And now I can start working on the words. So again, this is a very pretty font. Alright, get this into place. And it's nice because the you just, fit it evenly around that ivory so that you kind of have the same size border on all sides of the A. That helps you for perfect placement. And then luckily, the rest of the word is all together. So it just takes a little bit of gluing. I have one of those fine line empty bottles that you can purchase, and I'm thinking I'm gonna fill one up with my aqua glue, because then you get just that needle fine tip. So on something like this, that would come in handy. I mean, this tip is nice too, don't get me wrong, but it would be nice to have something even smaller. I made a mistake. I put something too thick into my other fine line bottle, and I really made a mess of that. So, but the aqua glue is so nice and liquid, it will not clog up that bottle. Okay, so now let's see here. The rest of the word, again, it kind of fits around that border really nicely. So I'm just going to get it initially laid in. That looks nice. Go ahead and pat it down. Very, very pretty. All right. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put the days down. This one was a little tough to cut out because some of the spots got very thin. So once it's glued down though, that'll give it the stability it needs. As I get used to doing paper piecing, I'm now looking at cut files with a more critical eye, and if there's too many fine lines and little doodads and all of that, I'm like, no, I don't, no. Nope. I value my sanity too much to try that. Because I am still a beginner in the world of paper cutting and my silhouette machine and everything, so I need things to be a little bit easy right now. Alright, so that will fit in here, and then don't worry, it will slightly overlap the word autumn, but not to the point where it makes it hard to read or anything. But I want to make sure that's pretty straight. And again, this was cut in that beautiful Hello Honey color. I may actually end up using all of my honey cardstock during the coming weeks as I make fall themed items and Thanksgiving items. I have a feeling I'm going to turn to that cardstock quite a few times. Try to get that off. Okay, cool. There, I think that looks really nice. All right, so the next step is I'm going to put down the big green leaf. And that is going to go right here. And you can see in the border how the border matches all of the little pieces of the leaf. So that's very pretty. And then two of these are going to go in here. So one is going to be like that, and one of them is going to be tipped. So I think I'll start with the back one. And please remember, when you're doing your own cutting of files like this, you know, you can eliminate some of the layers if you want to. Or if your machine has trouble with some of these tiniest details, you can just erase like this little circle here and just use a gel pen. Like, see, I have my nice gel pen here. This one is a Uniball Signo, and it has a broader tip. It's really nice. But anyway, you can just put a little dot of your white gel pen there instead of having your machine cut out such a tiny circle, especially on the little acorns like this. That's a pretty small hole, so if you don't want to fuss with that, just delete that from the cut file before you run it and add that highlight with a pen. So there's little things you can do to make your life easier. So please feel free. And then I was also thinking, when I was desperately searching for different colors of cardstock, I was like, you know, I might just run some of these things on cream cardstock and then just color it with my pens or something. So there's no law against that. So lots of ways to make it your own, that's for sure. All right, very pretty. So now I'm gonna do this one. Make sure I'm still in frame for you, sorry about that. So again, here at the border, you can see those little bumps where you can lay down your leaf. There's a little piece here I want to get rid of. All right. Go ahead and tap that down flat. And then the other one. I love this time of year. I know it's been unseasonably warm in many parts of the US, and even here it's extremely mild. We've had it pretty rainy though here in the Pacific Northwest, but luckily last night was dry for the trick-or-treaters. I was so happy. Got a little chilly there for a while down in the mid-50s, but it was dry, so that's always good. You don't want those poor kids getting soaked. Okay, so here's this one. Uh-oh, neighbor dog's barking. You can probably hear that. That dog's got a pair of lungs on him. That is for sure. All right. All right. And then this one, I'm just going to snug in right about here. I want to hold that down a little bit because there's a couple of layers there. All right. Well, there you go. So that is the finished Autumn Days title. And as I was giving you glimpses, there's a couple more items that come with this set. and you can add them to the title itself or around the edges. Make a little cluster of a big leaf, some small leaves, and add an acorn in there. You know, just little additional items that you can put on your layout. And of course you can make as many as you'd like. I could even put this little one right in here. Whoops, got glue on my finger. Anyway, I could even put this little one in here, maybe pop it up on just a small piece of foam or something. You never know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being with me again for a paper piecing video. I do love to make these, and this is just going to be the first one in a series of fall themed items. So that's going to be fun. And then if you want to check my channel, I just posted my first scrapbooking layout tutorial video, and I thought that one was a lot of fun. So if you'd like to, please check it out. If you like this video, please click like. I would love that if you did. And feel free to become a subscriber. That way you get to see all of my videos as they're posted. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.